Sarah Silk's 25th anniversary party. It means so much to our family that you've all come today to celebrate with us. We have people here all the way from Maine and Massachusetts, from Southern California, from all over the Bay Area. And Sarah Silks really is a family business, as you all know, and all of you have helped us in some way to get where we are today. You've supported us, you've worked with us, you've loved us, you've been our friends and our family, and I'm really, really happy to have you all with us. When I was thinking about this party, and I was thinking back over the 25 years, I was thinking, like, how did we get here? Like, what led us to this? And I thought about when I was a child, because why was I interested in imaginative play? And when I was, yeah, that's Lee. So when I was a girl, my sister Lee, who's here from Maine, and we just played pretend all the time. We loved to play pretend. And my grandma, when she was almost 100, said, I never saw anyone play as much pretend as you and your sister Lee did when you were little. So we had some hard things when we were kids. There were hardships in our family, and Lee and I escaped through creative play and imaginative play. And also, I really believe in that for wonderful adulthoods to have the creative play. My mother is also here today from Maine, and she is an artist, and she gave me lots of art supplies, and she made us costumes, and she made us clothing. And so I was so proud to have one of the only handmade costumes. I was a lion, I don't know if that's showing up yet, and our Indians, that's us making Indians. So I think the handmade costumes and handmade toys was something that was very precious to me when I was little. And my mother also gave us just simple toys, so we really did play with them, and it's really special. So I grew up and I became a nurse, and I went into the Peace Corps in Guatemala, and I worked with children and families in Guatemala, and I noticed that, and I loved working there. I saw that the children there just made do with sticks and boxes and all kinds of and things like that. And that was another thing that led me to believe in simple play. When I was in Guatemala, I met Mike, and he was in the Peace Corps as well. There's Mike. Now, in Mike's childhood, so I was thinking about, how did Mike come to this? Like, how did Mike come to Sarah Silks? Like, he brought a lot of interesting things with him. He lived in Asia as a child, and his family traveled and lived there, and they learned about wonderful things in Asia. So one of the things Mike did was he brought fruit to Guatemala that nobody had ever brought before, like the rambutan. And we had a farm there, and Mike had a business in Guatemala. And the rambutan is still grown all over Guatemala today, and it's in all of the markets. So this is a really amazing thing that Mike did. And I think that the root of that came from his childhood of living in Asia and traveling there with his family and loving the good things that he found there. So I'm really proud of Mike for that. And also he learned about business by having a fruit business in Guatemala. So when we came, we had Josh. He was born, and we lived in Guatemala with Josh. And Josh played with simple things in Guatemala. When we came back here, we lived here in Sonoma County, and Mike had 2 jobs, and I had one job, and life was hard because we were working a lot. And one day we came here to this school. We brought Josh when he was 4. And we went up to the kindergarten, and he went in to the kindergarten where Lena is the teacher now in White Rose. And I saw the toys. I was like, oh, this is what I want for my kids. They were just cloths, blocks, simple dolls, and Josh loved to pretend. So I told my neighbor Ann, who's here tonight. She's the reason we can be here, because Ann Platts. Thank you, Ann, wherever you are. Hey, Ann. Knew a family who also went to this school who had a silk and dye company right here in Sonoma County. So we bought the silk from them and the dye. It's still the dye we buy today. And we dyed some silk for Josh. He didn't like itchy things, so silk seemed a good fabric. And Ann's kids, Logan, Ed, and Romney, played with Josh and all the neighborhood kids with these silk squares. And they were so creative with them that there they are. And there's Noah, too. He was little. And so I thought maybe we could sell these. And I went to a little toy store in Santa Rosa called Young at Heart, and they bought them and they wanted more. And so I went home and made more, and then I thought maybe I could sell these to other Waldorf schools and toy stores. And I started to call, that's our garage in Windsor where we started, yeah. And so that's what happened. And then I met two wonderful sisters who are here today, Sasha and Tanya. They're right here in the front row. They're doll makers and toy makers, and they had a catalog called Turtle Moon. They really helped me get my start, and they bought my things. And a lot of the ideas that we still make, the fairy skirts and streamers and other things, were your idea. And we still make them now. And Tanya is still a doll maker, and Sasha's a Waldorf teacher. So it's wonderful to have you here. So over the years, we kept on inventing more toys, and I'm trying to think what happened next. But what happened next was Mike quit one of his jobs and started to help me because he saw that I only had scraps of paper. He bought a computer, he systemized everything, and then he had the idea that he would go to China, because even though he's Chinese American, he'd never been to China, and he didn't speak Chinese. So he went to China and found that in order to make silk, you have to grow lots and lots of trees. And he'd been a forestry major in college, and he was forestry and Peace Corps. So he found the mulberry trees, that you have to grow lots of trees to feed all of the leaves to the caterpillars. And he followed the way that you make silk from beginning to end. And he met a man who still works with us today, probably for almost 20 years now, Mr. Yu Feng Zheng, who has a degree in silk from China. And he helps us work with a village of women, the Hu Village, who sew our silks. And those are some of the women making the silks. So Mike has traveled to China many times, and he's brought our sons. And that's the Waldorf School in China, in Chengdu, China, where Mike went to play with the kids. And he's brought our kids, and he's learned Chinese, Mandarin Chinese. So it's been a really nice connection for our family, the connection with China and bringing the silk here. So now we've grown out of our garage, and Sarah Silks is 25. She finally moved out of the house. Yeah. 2 years ago, we moved into Sebastopol, 2.5 now, I guess. And we have these amazing, so we spread around the United States, but who's helped us really spread around the world is Mercurius. And Mercurius, if you don't know, they're school supplies for all the Waldorf schools in the world. And they are here to two of our very wonderful partners, Sandy and Allison. Where are you? I can't see you right back here. They are here today. They came all the way from Sacramento. They have helped us spread all over the world through Mercurius, which is a school supply, art supply, beautiful beeswax crayons and paints. So through them, we've been able to spread all around the world and grow quite a bit. So in the past few years, we've had our sons. Josh had moved away, and he came back and joined our business, and he's really helping the business grow tremendously with his knowledge of social media. That's him back in the day in the garage still. Noah makes all the string games. We make thousands of string games, the Cat's Cradle string games. Maybe you remember those from when you were a kid, and Noah makes the string games. And Morgan, turns out, is our youngest son. He's 19. He is a software wizard. He's figured out how to keep track of our inventory. There he is when he was little doing the string games. So it really is a family business. Mike is still the operations manager, and he's crucial to the success of our business, of course. And I do more the customer service, the content, social media and marketing and things like that. We have two very important women who head up two of our departments. One is Kim. She's here tonight. Kim, raise your hand. Kim's our warehouse manager, and she's been with us for a long time. We couldn't do without her. And then Elizabeth, who's about to have a baby, and there she is. So she's in charge of our customer service and order filling. And then there are other people here tonight, Isla and Lev, and who am I forgetting? And Esperanza and Sarah and other people who helped us. So I think that's everything I wanted to say, and I'm just really happy that you all came to celebrate with us, and thank you for being here. because you're going to be surprised and happy, I think, when you see the Cranky show. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Julie, and I was so honored when Sarah asked me to be a part of this event, and it's more than a year ago that we started talking about this. And she asked me to make a Cranky, which is basically scrolling artwork in a box, and it's a very old art form that goes back to New England from the 1700s. A little bit before YouTube. This is like Netflix, back then. And it's an old traditional storytelling art form. And so when Sarah asked me to do this, I said, well, let's think about what do we want it to be about. And we collaborated a lot back and forth. And finally she said, let's tell the story of my family. And so this Cranky kind of illustrates the story of the family and the Silks. And she asked a good friend of hers, Meg Chittenden, to write a song. And so the recording we have is of actually Meg singing the song, so she's with us in spirit, even if she can't be here in person. And so I'll play the recording of Meg singing the song that I illustrated here. And it's been kind of cool to learn about your family a little bit and illustrate things I never saw from your childhoods. So here we go. Take it away. Is there a way to turn off lights? It's like okay, cool. Never mind. I don't know why I said that into the microphone.
Yeah, it's maybe the sun.
Once there was a dear little boy who was so bright and so filled with joy. In his magical play he was carried away like Peter Pan to his never land. His mother dear understood his dreams. She dyed him a silk of purest green. Wrapped in this shroud, he shouted out loud, now I am Peter, and Peter is me. I'm off to sail through pirated seas. Red, orange, and yellow, green, blue, and violet, shimmering bridge made of color so fine. Sunlight and rainfall, seek and you'll find it. Your rainbow awaits you, oh child of mine. Years passed and a new baby brother was born, all swaddled in silk to keep him warm. As he grew and grew, there were silks for him too. Fairy wings and mermaid tails, unicorn cloaks and sailboat sails. Then a third little boy came along. His face was as bright as a morning song. So happy was he that his mama could see. A rainbow silk would be just right, with its colors all shining bright. Red, orange, and yellow, green, blue, and violet, shimmering bridge made of color so fine. Sunlight and rainfall, seek and you'll find it. Your rainbow awaits you, oh child of mine. The brothers three, they journeyed to see where silk moths hang from mulberry trees, with their father to guide through the Chinese countryside, and Lisu, goddess of silk above, sharing the rainbow love. Now so many children all over the land are dancing with colorful silks in their hand. They shout and sing, and silver bells ring, as they waltz through the glades in a beautiful rainbow parade. Red, orange, and yellow, green, blue, and violet, shimmering bridge made of colors so fine. Sunlight and rainfall, seek and you'll find it. Your rainbow awaits you, oh child of mine. Your rainbow awaits you, oh child of mine.
Hi. So I'm going to lead the next session. My name is Claire Takamori, and I'm a dance caller, and I would love to have every one of you join us in a circle. So in order to get there, we're going to put the chairs away on the stacks, and if you think you're not going to be dancing at all, you can keep one chair. I think we have enough space to make it all work. So please put your chairs away, help put all the extra chairs away on the stacks, and then join me in a circle. It's no more than walking.
And then we're going to have more dancing for anyone who's maybe here. All right. Here you go.
it feel to be a new Sarah Silks employee?
I love Sarah Silks.
You love Sarah Silks?
I love Sarah Silks.
Why do you love Sarah Silks?
We're from Austria. We were on a world trip. I'm eating.
It's okay.
Anyway, we came here and we fell in love with Sarah Silks because it's a business that communicates with heart and sells with heart, and the products make total sense to me. So yes, I love Sarah Silks.
I love Sarah Silks so much. And hearing you love Sarah Silks makes me so happy. How long have you known Sarah for?
Hi, Josh. I've known Sarah and Mike for 40 years.
40?
50. No,
Wait,
I'm kidding.
Your story's falling apart quickly.
Okay, so
Think this one
okay,
through.
a lot of years, more than I can remember because I'm going senile.
No.
Oh,
I want to say maybe 30?
at least, yeah, 30 years because you were little and Taylor was
Around
little.
30, yeah.
Yeah.
We were real little, so
Little,
sounds about right to me.
yeah.
Wonderful. Kim, the longest Sarah Silks employee and the best. Kim Horton. What do you have to say?
Oh, just how thankful I am to have Sarah and Mike and all you guys in my life.
Oh,
It's
but we
been
love
such
you
a
so
great
much.
job.
Kim, how come you show up to work so happy, so positive, in such a good mood every single day? How is this possible?
Lots of coffee
Lots of coffee.
and living in Sonoma County.
Yeah.
No, just our environment. We
Yeah.
work with a great team of people
Aw.
and great clients and customers. Thank you.
What is special about Sarah Silks?
The product itself, I think, is just so wonderful. And, you know, having my children grow up with it, I didn't even know that Sarah Silks was in Sonoma County and a local company until I saw the ad when I was looking for work 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, Sarah Silks. And I honestly had no idea she was a local company. And it just was fascinated.
What is special about Sarah Silks?
What's special about Sarah Silks? There's a lot of things. I think the fact that they keep their origin story as such a part of the overall process. There's so many reminders of it all the time.
Can we do a little more?
Awesome. Yes. Any other questions?
What is your favorite thing about working at Sarah's Silks?
So far, as I've been there just a short time, all of the very friendly people, and I love seeing all of the beautiful silk products that I have had with my children growing up, and I just love the beautiful rainbow of colors.
Had them with your children?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Totally. Yeah.
So you knew about it and you were seeing, oh, we have a job opening, and that's how we connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
So cool.
how it worked out. Yeah. And I was, we've been living in Sebastopol for 7 years, but I've known about Sarah Silks for a long time, and I just thought it was amazing that I live in the town where Sarah Silks was. Yeah.
So were you surprised about how small it was? Like, what were you expecting versus what it turned out to be?
Well, I knew Kim a little bit because our daughters are friends, so I knew from her that it was pretty small, but I didn't know. I didn't know how intimate it was, and I didn't know that the whole family, that it was really a family business. And then tonight, hearing the family story, it's really moving. It's beautiful.
How is it working in a family business without being in the family?
Well, so far it's really comfortable because everyone is just so friendly and kind and warm. So it's been great.
Do we have enough for a documentary yet, Evo?
I think so.